over Malibu. It's overdue, 'cause the baddest of them is you. Swimming over Malibu, I guess it's true. The finest of them is you. My love, my love, my love.
Queenstown was such a fun town with so much to do. For adrenaline rush, there was cycling, paragliding, jet boats. The list was endless. At the same time, Queenstown was incredibly picturesque and the food options were fantastic. The city was quite busy with plenty of tourists flocking in for adventure sports and to visit the nearby villages like Glenorchy and Arrowtown, which we also explored. Most were there to visit Milford Sound though. Milford Sound was absolutely magical and we have a separate episode for that because it deserves its own spotlight. Queenstown was packed with amazing shops and great eateries. The town sits right beside the huge Lake Wakatipu, which is full of ducks, geese and swans. There were fun water sports and we also got to enjoy some street food. We came across a Japanese street food stall that looked interesting, so we gave it a try and it was really good.
Very hot, but tasty.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Everyone was having a great time and the vibe was amazing. Just besides the town center was a beach with an archway marking the entrance. The moment we stepped in, the vibe completely changed. It became so much more relaxed. A cool breeze from the lake and the calming sound of the water set the mood. You could feel it in the people too, just sitting by the lake having nice conversations. There was a father teaching his kids how to skim stones on the water. I want to be that dad, the one who spends quality time with his children, and the dad who doesn't bring stress and anger into the family. Watching them was such a joy. As we walked further along the beach, we came across a big garden with a play area, towering trees, and a stream. The stream with its fountain was home to beautiful birds. It was a great spot for a walk with breathtaking views of Lake Wakatipu and Queenstown. After that, we made our way back to the town center. Patagonia. What can I even say about this place? It's hands down the best ice cream we have ever had. Located right in the heart of the town, there were always many people lining up for it. The excitement you see in the kids, we felt exactly the same. That's practically us, yeah. The cone with the option to drizzle chocolate and then layer it with nuts. Oh my god, Ponu, I need ice cream now.
First scoop is a banana split, and the second scoop is a Patagonia dark chocolate with hazelnuts. Sorry, with macadamia nuts.
It was so good that throughout our week in Queenstown, we had one every single day.
Hockey Pocky.
Hockey Pocky is like New Zealand's national flavor. It's vanilla ice cream with small crunchy bits of honeycomb toffee. It's quite tasty and it reminds me of butterscotch ice cream that we get in India.
Dark chocolate. Cone with chocolate. My god.
Coming back tomorrow and day after. Every day.
To take in the beauty of Queenstown, we went to the top of Bob's Peak. We took a gondola, which is a cable car operated by Skyline. Since many places in New Zealand didn't allow drones, this was a perfect way to get a bird's eye view. A lot of people brought their bikes up and rode them down. I'm sure it was a lot of fun. There were other fun rides too.
Okay.
Are you scared, Manu?
Shut up. Okay, I knew this. Shut up.
Are you scared? Look at that. Just turn behind and see. Look
Oh
at that.
my. Okay.
Now you're not scared anymore, right?
Seeing Queenstown from up there was incredible. Down below, it was so busy, bustling, crowded, fun, and a little crazy. But up there, it was peaceful and calm. Isn't life a bit like that? Our lives are filled with happiness, sadness, chaos, and challenges. But when we look back, especially at challenges, we see them quite differently. And we often come up with brilliant ideas to tackle them. This has happened to me so many times. I'll be facing something challenging, unable to figure out a solution, and then I go to sleep. Somewhere around 4 a.m., I would wake up, not fully, I would be still in bed, and suddenly I would get ideas to handle that situation. And I would think to myself, why didn't I think about this yesterday? That's when I realized how important it was to distance yourself from the problem, to gain perspective and come up with solutions. I think this place will remind me of that whenever I am facing a challenge. This memory will remind me to take a step back. Now here's a place that anyone planning to visit Queenstown has probably heard of, Fergburger. The spot is so famous that every time we went, it was packed. It opens at 8 a.m. and stays open until 4:30 a.m. the next day, and it would still be crowded. So we had to check it out.
There's snacks, coffee and snacks, and there is proper meals like burger and all, and there is a bar, and then there is a dessert. Full one-stop shop. Actually, it was fun, right?
Yeah.
Right?
It's good music also.
Good music. Sorry, duck. Non-veg.
Is it worth the hype?
It's a good burger.
It's a
very good burger.
We couldn't resist trying the pies from Fergburger also. They just looked absolutely amazing.
This is amazing. This is like very flavorful, like a good lamb curry. Oh, I love this. I love this. This is really good.
Glenorchy is a beautiful village and a popular filming location just an hour's drive from Queenstown. One of my favorite movies, The Chronicles of Narnia, was filmed right here. There was a famous wharf with a rusted light that went viral on Instagram. It's in this place, and we had to check it out. The drive to Glenorchy was stunning. It was so scenic, with the roads running right beside Lake Wakatipu. Roads in New Zealand were beautiful. Not multi-lane highways or motorways, but well-maintained two-way roads. This was the famous shed of Glenorchy. It used to be an important wharf, which has now become an Instagram hotspot, and rightly so. Look at those frames. As we walked towards the wharf, the view was breathtaking. Weathered wooden planks, crystal clear lake, lush forest against a majestic mountain backdrop made the scene absolutely stunning.
Come on, Momo. Exactly. Come on, everybody.
One of the best places to experience autumn in New Zealand was Arrowtown, and it's just 20 minutes from Queenstown. We were so lucky because the Arrowtown Festival was happening during our visit. The town looked like an old western town with post office and shops that had wooden name boards. The golden leaves added to the perfect autumn vibe. As we walked into the park, we came across a local storyteller sharing the history of the town and how European settlers arrived. Like many towns in the South Island, Arrowtown was also a gold mining town, with gold being found in the Arrow River. Tourists were trying their luck panning for gold while we watched. And then there was Patagonia ice cream. I think you know what happened after that.
Mascarpone cheese and fruits of the forest. And this one is Patagonia white chocolate and hazelnuts.
By this time, we had spent a couple of weeks in New Zealand's South Island, and the food there was very European. We had been feasting on pies, fish and chips, burgers, and steak. But being Indian, our taste buds started craving for something spicy. New Zealand is known to produce some of the best meats in the world. So we decided to do some grocery shopping. And the best place to do affordable grocery shopping? PAK'nSAVE.
Shall we pack and save?
We shall.
ചോറും ബീഫ് കറിയും പിന്നെ ഇനിയൊരു ദിവസം മീൻ കറി ചോറും മീൻ കറി
Although we could cook in our campervan, we usually prepared meals in the community kitchen at the holiday park where we stayed. A holiday park is a place where you can park your campervan and then stay overnight, but more on campervans and holiday parks in a different video. What we would usually do is we would chop everything in the campervan and then cook in the community kitchen.
Okay, how do you want this? Like slit or?
Slit. Chili is always slit. Chef Jason.
Chef?
Sorry.
Not chef. Sous chef. Eyes are burning. Okay, I'm done with this. അടിപൊളി. Very spicy.
Yeah.
It's very spicy. But it's like nice roast, like a beef roast. Oh,
Next, we headed to the magical Milford Sound. Once that video is ready, you can check it out right here. Music is coming. I need the music for the emotions to come out. Emotions should come out. Emotions should come like that. Like that it should come. It should just come like that. Okay, music has come.